I did it again. Another wild 24-hour challenge project. So, Sigurd, also known as Weltenbauer.club, reached out to me over on Instagram, wanted to do a challenge, similar to the 24-hour challenge that I had with Tyrannosaur a month back. The category was to construct and paint a treehouse, sci-fi or fantasy, anything went. Except, unfortunately, I lost this one. Around 6 a.m. after working for 20-something odd hours on this damn treehouse, I only just managed to prime this piece of terrain. So, with the winner already declared after a Zoom call we had, I had to save face and finish painting this treehouse before Thursday when we both agreed to upload our videos. So, here's how I started out. I went with a Mad Max zombie survival shelter sort of idea, stuck in a tree. Now, I went with some chipboard, base of 2 layers to avoid some warping. I got an aquarium gravel filter for the platform that I used on the rest of my 8x4 table. I also picked up a plastic cup from my old office. Now, I took my dog to the dog park. He got exhausted, so he would sleep and snooze the rest of the time while I worked on this marathon project, and I magnetized the roof and the autocannon. Now, I was using this MDF shanty prefab that I was gifted by a Secret Santa. I added some corrugated cardboard and some plastic metal sheeting to the side of the building. For the tree branches, I used copper wires overlaid with foil and blue tape. Now, the painter's blue tape seems odd. It ends up looking like tree branches once you paint it and you squish it together. Then I also used some epoxy sculpt for the roots and the edges of the tree. I also added barrels, stowage, and other bits to the piece. I added sand with some superglue and then primed it black, and I dusted it after that with a top-down white primer spray paint. I could airbrush the orange leaves, the brown, everything was easy peasy, and I went through the base coats mostly with the airbrush. I also switched the railing color back to copper instead of the bright sky blue. The orange and the bright blue combo was working great. I love that combination, especially with the orange pigment. I went with a red for the cacti. Didn't really know what else to do, and I felt that with the stowage already being that bright scorpion green, I didn't want to go down that road. Dry brushing is a staple technique in terrain building, and honestly my favorite step. I dry brushed this khaki, and then followed by a bleached bone. I also dry brushed the leaves, a bright orange followed by a brown wash, basically on everything. So I printed some out, and added some sponge weathering, and simply glued them down. They're just pieces of paper. Then I followed it with some weathering and pigments, heavy on the terracotta, sealed it with some soaked paper towel, and matte varnish before the grass tufts. I also did some sponge weathering throughout the rest of the piece. As I was working on this piece, I felt like some areas were definitely rushed and I can 100% improve, especially on the flat 2D looking leaves up the top. I could improve on many pieces on this terrain, however, I just wanted to get it done at this point. So for his treehouse that he finished, on time I might add, you should check out his channel and definitely sub. One of the things I saw Sigurd do was his entire treehouse was 4 times the size of my tree. It was ridiculous. He also used real wood, which was smart. I should have collected more branches and used wood instead of this monstrosity that I created. It was an awesome theme. He explained it. We had like a 2-hour Zoom call, which I totally did not record somehow. And in general, he was a 10 out of 10 for sportsmanship. Honestly, it was a pleasure to take the challenge, and it was really fun to tackle an unfamiliar and odd category. Now, you should follow him, especially on Instagram and YouTube. He only has 300 subscribers or so. We want to boost that up. I recently got a shout out and a boost up, which you gotta spread the love in this hobby community. Also, you could follow me on Instagram at Steve Famine, as well as you could join the Reddit Terrainbuilding, which has almost 100,000 members, and I get to moderate that and clean up a lot of trash. So go join our community over there, as well as follow me on Instagram and sub to this channel, and you'll see more content.